Welcome back to the Entrepreneurial Blueprint. Today we have a special guest, Luterman. Mark, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So let's hop right into it. Mark, I wanted to talk about something important with you today. Especially you wrote a book, Abe's Final Masterpiece. One of my favorite books that I've ever read. Basically, where you're helping business owners and pretty much anybody who wants to improve their life. And so I wanted to speak about something I learned this past year in 2024 that I'm going to apply to my career in 2025. And it's three lessons I took away from being around franchise owners, CR3 franchise owners from around the country this past year. And I wanted to bring up these three lessons and have you elaborate on them and see what you think about them. So let's hop right in. So the first lesson I learned being around these franchise owners is ambition with a clear end goal in mind will propel your company very far. And when I say a clear goal in mind, I think it has to pair with ambition. You can't just have ambition without writing down your goals and the roadmap that's going to, the roadmap that's going to take you there. They have to go hand in hand.
Mhm.
And I got that from your book. So I just want to hear you talk about that a little bit and hear what you have to think about.
Well, I think you also have to add passion in there too. You have to be passionate about what you're doing, otherwise, you won't be ambitious. And you must create this, you must know exactly what you want in order to achieve it, or you will vacillate through life with no clear direction. Once you come up with exactly what you want and you have those goals, you want to make them lofty, and then you want to create a blueprint to help you to achieve those goals. What are the steps necessary to get you there? And what motivates you? What motivates you to get there? What do you have a passion for? What do you like? Because if you don't like it, you'll never achieve it. And when you have passion for something, you achieve twice as much in terms of productivity that you would have if you didn't have that passion. It takes you twice as long to get there. There's a great quote by Abraham Lincoln that references that.
Awesome. So the second lesson I learned from franchise owners, finding the right partner to help accomplish your goals is imperative to reaching your goals. I like to compare this. I've seen the CR3 franchise, the corporate office,
Mhm.
be a good partner to CR3 franchise owners around the country. The franchise owners obviously aren't working for the corporate, and the corporate side is not working for the franchise owners. They're partners. They're partners, and the CR3 corporate is helping the CR3 franchise owners achieve their goals. So finding the right partner. To add on to that, what should you look at when you're trying to find the right partner? And is having a partner beneficial to everyone?
Well, I think it depends on your personality. There are some people that like to work by themselves, but whenever you have coordinated cooperative effort between two or more parties, you can create a real strength, a real power, and coordinated cooperative effort where you're all working together for the betterment or benefit of one. So when you have a team or you have a partnership where you have a venture where everybody has common goals and you recognize that that venture, that company is more important than any one person, because without that company, without that venture, without that partnership, nothing exists. Then you have the makings of something really special. And to be a little bit more even granular, it's really important that the people that you choose to work with have the utmost character, unwavering character, and a strong emotional intelligence. And when you have those, your chances of success go up dramatically. You're not necessarily interested in somebody with the most knowledge, although knowledge is great. Character trumps knowledge, in my opinion. Now, that doesn't mean that you go out, if you're in the construction business, in the roofing business, and you partner with somebody who has no experience whatsoever, doesn't know the first thing, and your goal is to get this thing up and running really, really fast, then you may have a little bit of an issue. But when you put two people together and you have one person that may have a little bit more knowledge than the other, but the other has more character, more emotional intelligence, I'll take that person any day of the week.
Great. And the third lesson, and
And I do
think
want to backtrack with one thing too. It is important that it is very, very important that this mentality of a partnership goes beyond even the partnership that you have with, let's say, so in our company, it's myself and Carney Freifogel. But partnerships should be created or thought of with customers, with vendors, so that even with team members to an extent where you all work together collaboratively. And that therein lies, the foundation of, or the very, very strong foundation that you can build upon.
so. And I think this ties into the third lesson that I learned. And again, I think this is the most important lesson. The lesson number 3 would be learn to believe in yourself. You used a great word, unwavering belief. Having the ability to believe in yourself, even if nobody else is, because the only person that knows really what you want is yourself. And you have to believe in yourself to accomplish your goals.
Yeah. There are 5 steps to that I've addressed in this book that are critical to achieving success. And those 5 steps are: number 1, making sure that you create your defined success statement, your statement that spells out exactly what you want, has a deadline and a period of time to accomplish, so that you don't have so you have an end goal that you have to hit. And remember, when I say that dream big, it's okay to have lofty goals, because think of it this way. Let's say you say, I want to make $1 million in 5 years. And in 5 years, you've made 800,000 when you were 5 years prior at 150. Well, you didn't. That's not a failure. That's strength, or that's success, because you've achieved a lot more than you would have if you didn't do anything. So falling just short, or, a little bit before what your end goal is, does not mean that you failed. Number 2, as I mentioned before, is to have the blueprint, which is a detailed step-by-step roadmap to achieving these goals that you've set in your defined statement. The third is the most powerful force in the universe is taking the right action in the present. And what that means is to take action immediately and now. The right action being action that is done with a purpose, action that is geared towards your defined goals, an action that is done with integrity, accountability, honesty, all the foundational principles that I've laid out in this book, Abe's Final Masterpiece. This is the first of the steps. And I'm going to get to your question in just a second, but this is the first of the steps, the 5 steps where people fail right here. Because taking the right action in the present, what do most people do in life? They procrastinate, and they don't take the action that is necessary. So they'll sit there and they'll put down their goals. They'll hopefully get to the point where they're laying out all of the steps necessary to achieve those goals. And then when it comes to taking the action to put everything into place, a lot of procrastination. I got too busy. I didn't have enough time. And so they never fully invest themselves in committing to this initiative. Number 4 is you have to have an unwavering desire and commitment to achieve these goals. And having passion is so important for that desire and commitment to be there. You'll run through a brick wall to achieve these things, and figuratively, and that nothing will stand in your way. And then lastly is to have that faith and belief that you talked about. This is the second place where people fail. So you have 2 places within these 5 steps. And the second reason this is the second place that they fail is really simple. It's called self-doubt. The belief is not there. The faith is not there. And so what happens is, if you get to this 5th point because you've done the work, doing the work doesn't mean success. You have to go through a process, which includes all types of failures. And you have to be able to look at failures as successes because it's something that you've learned, new knowledge that will help you to achieve these goals, whatever they are. Going from A to Z very rarely, if ever, happens without any types of failures. There's a fine line between failure and success. Those that see failures as an opportunity to succeed versus an opportunity to quit, they're the ones that are succeeding. And so when you don't have this faith and belief, and you have this self-doubt upon the first sign of failure, what do you think happens? People quit. And so that's why you have these, to get through all of these 5 steps is not easy, because you have to have this mentality, this faith, this belief, this unwavering desire and commitment. All of these things have to go hand in hand, and it takes time. And there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of mind games that can trick you into, not seeing everything through.
Well, that was pretty much an answer, and that really helped elaborate on all of the lessons that I've learned. So if there's one, I guess, piece of advice you could give listeners, franchise owners going into 2025, what can we leave them with?
I would say get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone and cut the safety net. Think of a circle, and in that circle is your comfort zone. 98% of people reside in that comfort zone and they never leave. And around that comfort zone is another circle, which has what I call all the deadly enemies of success. The biggest deadly enemy is fear. Fear is the silent killer of life. Fear is the silent business killer as an entrepreneur. These deadly enemies of success, fear and self-doubt, procrastination, anger, jealousy, envy, all of these things that consume us. And what happens is, in order to leave this comfort zone, you've got to hit these deadly enemies of success head on. Well, again, what do you think most people do when they hit them? They retreat right back into the comfort zone. There's a third circle around the second one. That circle consists of achievement. That circle consists of happiness. That circle is independence, being self-sufficient, all of the achievements, all of the things that are that are part of success. You can't get there unless you go through the deadly enemies of success. you can't get there without going through that second circle. So knowing that, you've got to continue to just keep plowing forward and plowing forward. And so think of it this way. If you have 1,000 people that are trying to achieve something, and standing between them and that achievement is a big steel barrier, 2 of those 1,000 people are going to find a way to either go through that barrier, around that barrier, underneath it, or over it. 998 of those people are going to keep hitting it 3, 4, maybe 5 times. I'm done. I quit. Going back to my comfort zone. I don't like this. Now I feel comfortable. And that's why most people, when they reach a certain age, become unhappy, because they haven't achieved what they set out to do in life, whether that's a personal goal, whether that's a business goal. And so it's really important that with these 5 steps, you have that in mind, that I've got to get there. I will get there. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take working smartly, and just having the mindset that along the way there's going to be bumps and bruises, but that's nothing more than the knowledge that I had to learn in order to achieve the goals that I wanted to achieve.
Like in your book, you use the word, it's the tuition you have to pay.
The tuition you have to pay in order to achieve what you want. You had to pay that tuition. It's no different. If you believe in going to college and that, or graduate school or medical school or law school, there's a tuition that has to be paid, both monetarily and with hard work. And if you want to get there, you have to pay it through money and time. And if you don't, you're not going to be successful in that specific genre, that category, that field, if you don't put the hard work in. And so it's no different than that. You've got to be able to understand that you're going to fail, take the failures, and learn from them. The very seed of success lies dormant in the failures that we experience.
Awesome. Well, Mark, we appreciate your time. We hope we can have you back on the podcast in 2025. The information that you left us is valuable. So appreciate you again, and I hope you have a great New Year's.
Thank you. You do the same.